Hi, all of you. Uh, we have covered in last class in journal entries and what is the meaning of journal entries. As we has covered that journal entry is a primary book of entry in which transactions are recorded in the books of account in a chronological order. जैसे मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में बताया था जनरल एंट्री होता क्या है। जनरल एंट्री प्राइमरी बुक ऑफ एंट्री होती है जिसमें हमारे ट्रांजेक्शन को रिकॉर्ड किया जाता है इन अ क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर। क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर मीन्स वी शुड हैव अ डेट पर्टिकुलर डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी हैव टू mention फर्स्ट डे, सेकंड डे, थर्ड डे, फोर्थ। दिस इज़ कॉल्ड अ क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर, मतलब कि पहली तारीख पहले आएगी, फिर दूसरी तारीख, तीसरी तारीख, चौथी तारीख, देन अकॉर्डिंगली। देन मैंने आपको बताया था कि वी हैव टू कंसिडर ओनली कैश एंड बैंक। अगर पैसा आ रहा है देन इट विल बी डेबिट, अदरवाइज इट विल बी क्रेडिट। Means if you are spending or investing the money then it will be credit. If the cash is coming, you are doing a sales or you are receiving money from somewhere, then it will be debit. For example, if in a last class I have already told you that if a proprietor introduce money into his business, then cash account debit to capital account. We have to post the entry cash should be debit. कैश हमारा डेबिट होगा, जब जब कैश आएगा तो हमारा डेबिट होगा। उसका रीज़न हमारे पास क्या है, वी शुड हैव टू मेंशन द रीज़न दैट इज अ कैपिटल और वी कैन से शेयर कैपिटल। देन मैंने आपको बताया था कि इफ़ वी आर गोइंग टू सेल आवर गुड्स देन कैश शुड बी डेबिट एंड रीजन ऑफ दैट कैश इज सेल्स। देन मैंने मेंशन किया था if we are receiving the rent from our tenant, so कैश आएगा तो कैश अकाउंट डेबिट ₹5,000 and the reason of that cash is rent, so we have to mention to rent. And accordingly if we are receiving the rent in advance then we have to mention the cash account debit and the reason of that cash is to advance rent. देन मैंने आपको बताया था लास्ट क्लास में कि इफ़ द कैश इज गोइंग मीन्स वी आर स्पेंडिंग और इन्वेस्टिंग द मनी, इन दैट केस वी हैव टू मेंशन दैट कैश शुड बी क्रेडिट, लाइक टू मीन्स क्रेडिट. So the here we are purchasing the goods, so we have to post the entry purchase account debit to cash account, and we have to mention the narration also uh, below our entry. And then we are paying the rent, so our cash is going, so it should be credit, to means credit, and the reason of that cash is uh, rent, so we have to mention rent account debit to cash. And accordingly we are paying the commission, so we should mention that to cash in a credit side, and the reason of going the cash is commission, so we have to mention that commission account debit to cash account. And accordingly if we are going to purchase a machine, I have included this entry today, that if we are purchasing the machine rupees 1 lakh, so we have to post the entry machinery account debit, and reason of going the cash is our machinery, so we have to debit the machinery and to cash. So we have already covered this in our last session, so today's session is based on a based that if the cash is not going, in that case what entry we should have to post. Like for example, if the proprietor and introduce furniture into the business, वो कैश नहीं ला रहा, इन दैट केस हमको कैश की जगह कुछ और मेंशन करना है। यहाँ पर मैंने लास्ट क्लास में आपको दिखाया था कि इफ़ द ओनर इज़ इन्वेस्टिंग द मनी इनटू द बिजनेस देन कैश शुड बी डेबिट। अगर वो कैश नहीं ला रहा है, इन दैट केस जो भी वो ला रहा है, सो वी हैव टू मेंशन दैट, सो कैश की जगह आ जाएगा फर्नीचर अकाउंट डेबिट and then in a second entry, goods sold in goods sold rupees 20,000 to A Limited on credit. As I mentioned on the last class, that if we are selling our goods, so cash is coming. We have to mention that cash account debit to sales, because in the current entry cash is not coming, so we have to mention the name, that is A Limited. If the cash is coming, so we have to mention that cash account debit. If cash is not coming, in that case we have to mention the name, that is A Limited. uh, A Limited, or uh, for us, we can use these name also. If the A Limited is not mentioned, so we can use debtor account receivable account. Debtor is also called account receivable account. So, and then we have a rent. If we have given a house to a tenant, then we have to receive the money. The- like here we are receiving the money in cash, rupees 5,000, but in our today's session we are not receiving the money, but our rent is accrued. Here in our entry, our rent is accrued, but rent is not received. So if we are receiving the rent in cash, so we have to post the entry cash account debit to rent received account, because we are not receiving the cash, so we have to post the entry instead of cash, that is accrued rent. For because accrued rent means कि हमने कमाया है मगर मिला नहीं है हमको वो रेंट. So in that case we have to remove the cash and debit the accrued rent here. Also in the case of commission, if we receive the commission in cash, so we have to mention here cash account debit to commission received account. But in today's class we are not receiving the commission, but our commission is due. So in that case we have to mention accrued commission, means हमने कमाया है मगर मिला नहीं है. So we have to post the entry accrued commission account debit to commission received account. In the below scenario, we are able to receive the cash, but we are not receiving the cash in this entry. So now we are going to next step, like if cash is not going, like we are going to purchase goods, but we have not given cash to the salesperson. So in that case what entry we have to post in that case? So in this case, like we are going to purchase the goods on credit, so we have to post entry purchase account debit rupees 4,000. We are going to purchase goods rupees 4,000 on credit from B Limited. So in that case we have to post the entry purchase account debit to B Limited account. If we purchase the goods in cash, so here we have to post the cash account. But because in this entry we have purchased the goods on credit, so we do not consider cash here. Our cash is not going, so we have to mention the name of the person. Here we call it vendor or creditor, or we can use account payable also. So these are the person, vendor, creditor और account payable, जिनसे हमने उधार में सामान खरीदा है. These are the person from which we have purchased the goods on credit. So we have to post the entry purchase account debit to B Limited. Here in the case of rent, like we rent due but not paid, so in that case rent we have to post the entry rent account debit. If we are going to pay the cash, so we have to post the entry because cash account credit here. Because our cash is not going, so we do not credit the cash. So instead of cash we are showing outstanding. Outstanding means कि बकाया है हमारा, देना बकाया है हमारा। आउटस्टैंडिंग को कहते हैं बकाया हिंदी में। तो हमारा देना अभी बकाया है, तो इन दैट केस वी हैव टू पोस्ट द एंट्री रेंट अकाउंट डेबिट टू आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट। ऑल्सो इन द केस ऑफ कमीशन, हमारा कमीशन ड्यू है पे करना, सो हम लोग एंट्री पोस्ट करेंगे कमीशन अकाउंट डेबिट टू आउटस्टैंडिंग कमीशन। यहाँ पर अगर हम लोग कैश, वी आर पेइंग द कमीशन इज कैश, सो वी हैव टू पोस्ट द एंट्री टू कैश अकाउंट, but we are not going to pay the amount in cash, so we have to post the entry outstanding commission. And also in the case of machinery, we have purchased the machinery from a vendor, so in that case we have also show we do not show the cash in a credit side, we show vendor account. We have to show vendor account or the person's name to whom we purchase the machinery. So guys, I hope this class is useful for you, and I want to give one more example. Like if we provide services, then we use outstanding service, provide services on credit. So we provide services, or if we use services on credit, then we use outstanding. And in case we purchase the machinery or goods, then we have to use vendor name. Outstanding rent, like outstanding rent, outstanding rent, outstanding wages, outstanding commission, etc. Goods, then we use vendor name. We have to use vendor name. Example, A limited, B limited, etc. And I also want to give you an example of difference between goods and machinery. Like I have purchased this machinery for my personal use, so it will be treated as a machinery. If I purchase this machinery to sell this product to someone, so I will treat it as a goods. So for a goods we use purchase, for a machinery we use the name of the machinery. So I hope that this session will helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any suggestion and comment, so please let me know. So thanks for watching my video. Thanks.